carefree chicken casserole because we all need a little more carefree recipes in our life. Am I right? This only comes to $5.38 for the whole recipe, which means it's only $1.35 per serving. So I think that is a total win. I've got some rice, cream of chicken soup, cheese, chicken, and some mixed veggies. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting my condensed soup into a pot with some water, and I'm going to whisk that up and heat it up until it is simmering, and then I'll add my minute rice. Now, the original recipe called for cream of mushroom soup, but I'm not a huge fan of that. So whenever a recipe calls for it, I pretty much always substitute cream of chicken unless it's green bean casserole. After the rice is mixed in there, you just want to add your chicken and your veggies. I'm using some frozen peas and corn that I par cooked in the microwave, but you could also use canned peas or basically any veggies that you want. I'm going to go ahead and add some shredded cheese. I was actually really excited to try this recipe because it's similar to a cheesy chicken and rice casserole that I make from America's Test Kitchen. So I wanted to kind of see how it stood up to that. After everything is mixed together, you want to go ahead and put it into a greased dish, smooth out the top, and then I added some additional shredded cheddar cheese over the top. I did use a little bit more cheese than the original recipe called for because the original recipe only called for half a cup, which I didn't think was very much for the amount that this makes. I covered it with foil, popped it into the oven, and baked it covered. I did pull the foil off for the last like 5 to 10 minutes just to brown it a bit on the top, garnishing it with some green onion for a little bit of extra flavor. And then I let this cool and then dished it out into bowls. I have to say, this is probably the most family-friendly recipe in this whole video and probably the one that I would be most likely to make again. So definitely give it a try. It's not as creamy as the original recipe that I normally make, but it's definitely good. The flavors are obviously very mild and kid-friendly, so definitely try this if you are looking for a super quick dinner.